Welcome to this week's Rogers McHugh YouTube video. In this week's episode, we're going to be looking at 3 lessons I've learned from running the London Marathon. Let's go! Welcome to this week's Rogers McHugh YouTube video. So for those of you that have been following the channel for a while, you'll know last year I announced that I was going to be running the London Marathon, which happened last Sunday. Ran it for Tommy's, which is a charity for baby loss and premature birth. They fund a lot of research into it. It's a great charity. I'll put a link to the Just Giving page in the show notes if any of you can spare a couple of quid. The Just Giving page is still open, and we're not too far off hitting the target for this year. So whilst I was running around the 26.2 miles, I thought this would make a great idea for a YouTube video, and we're looking at the 3 lessons that I learned from running it and how that can be translated into recruitment or business in general. And the first one is that you've got to have a target in mind. So for me, I was very clear on my vision. Find out in a minute how I got on with that. I wanted to complete it in sub 4 hours. So I wanted it to start with a 3. Unfortunately, I actually did it in 4 hours 13 minutes, which is a little bit disappointing. My worry is if I didn't have that target of 4 hours, that 4 hours 13 would have been a lot longer. The focus that I had on making sure that I came in, or trying to make sure that I came in under 4 hours, gave me a great opportunity to get close to it. Whereas if that had have been left open-ended and it was just a case of get round as quickly as you can, it may have been significantly slower. The second lesson, consistency of effort. Now, I've kind of bulked this together. The first sort of consistency is in the training. In recruitment, that's in your practice, that's in the number of sales calls that you're doing. That's in the number of candidates that you're speaking to. It's the consistency of effort, and it's the practice. It's the practice of doing the sales call. It's the practice of trying to win the client. It's the practice of trying to get the candidate interested in your job. And it's doing that consistently. But then it's also, and this is where I fell short, level running splits. It's consistency in the speed that you're running at. I very much went off too fast. I was well on track for that at the halfway point. I was well on track for that at the 20-mile point, and the last 6 miles fell off a cliff. If you look at my split times, they go like that. They were consistent to start with, but they were too fast. What I should have done is that, and I'd probably have brought it in under the 4 hours. How does that relate to recruitment? Well, it's simple. It's consistency of doing all of the job all of the time. We spoke about that before. Consistency of practice and consistency of doing every element of the job so that you get the best results. And the last one, the one where I have half failed, is don't give up. So why have I half failed? Well, I ended up walking part of the last 6 miles because I'd blown a gasket. I gave up. However, I've not given up on that sub 4 hour marathon. I've already signed up for another marathon in October. And we're in April as we film this. I've signed up. I know where my next marathon is, and I've signed up to it, and I'm already now back in training to make sure that I don't let myself down again the next time I do a marathon. However, where does this relate to you guys? Well, don't give up on doing BD calls. If you have 10 BD calls and you don't get a job in, that doesn't mean that you've got to give up. Keep going, keep pushing through. Get through the pain, especially in the early days of recruitment. Get through the pain of not being great at sales calls. Hone your craft. Don't give up, and make sure that you keep putting the effort in. It's a consistency of effort. It's the training. It's the doing of the activity. It's the not giving up. And if you combine all that together, you'll have a fantastic career in recruitment. And more importantly, if you combine all that together, hopefully at some point, if you're me, you'll hit the sub 4 hour marathon. Thought it was quite interesting to sort of break that down and have a look at that for this week's YouTube video. I hope you found some value in that. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, because we're trying to get the videos out to the masses, and the more people that subscribe, the more people will see the videos. And we'll be back at the same time next week, because we are absolutely consistent with our effort, with another YouTube video. See you then.